Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had very well-deserved rest. For the next session, we have our panel here already seated. But before I introduce them, I would like to make a kind reminder. As you all have your name tags, there is a QR code in the back of your name tag that directs you to the latest agenda. If you want to check the latest version of the agenda, you can, with your phone, easily click on that website. This way, we don't generally print the agendas. Now, our next session is Productive, Safe, and Accessible Ocean, and it will be moderated by Professor Dr. Cem Gazioğlu from Istanbul University, Institute of Marine Science and Management. And we have Dr. Didem CAMBAZ from Boğazici University, Dr. Murat ERBAY from Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, Sabri MUTLU from TUBITAK Marmara Research Center, Assistant Professor Dr. Ceren DINDAR from Ankara University, and Assistant Professor Dr. Devrim TEZCAN from Middle East Technical University.
Welcome. Section 2, Productive Ocean, Safety Ocean, Acceptable Ocean. First, Didem CAMBAZ from CERIT, Boğazici University, Kandilli Observatory and Earthquake Resource Institute.
Didem CAMBAZ şu. Bir de bir şey de videoyu öncelikle başlatabilir misiniz? Hello everyone. I first would like to present our video for our tsunami exercise we performed last year. First of all, thank you very much for your kind invitation to provide the opportunity to present our activities in the Kandilli Observatory and Earthquake Research Institute. My name is Musavver Didem CAMBAZ, and I am working as an assistant manager in tsunami studies.
The Uniform Code of Military Justice specifies court-martial for any officer who sends a soldier into battle without a weapon. There ought to
Sorry. In 2004, one of the biggest and deadliest earthquake occurred in Sumatra with a magnitude of 9.1, which caused a tsunami. And later on, this tragic event caused several deaths in different continents and countries. This tragic event provided Intergovernmental Commission Group for the Northeast and Atlantic in Mediterranean and the tsunami early warning risk mitigation systems in this region. And as Kandilli Observatory, we are officially declared our interim candidate tsunami service provider status covering Eastern Mediterranean, Aegean, Marmara, and Black Seas as of 1 July 2012 to the ICG NEAM TWS and accredited as tsunami service provider during the 13th session of the ICG NEAM TWS. And since that time, we are providing tsunami early warning messages in this region. Kandilli Observatory contributes and supports ocean decay studies in the frame of safe ocean, and we are trying to move from the ocean we have to the ocean we want. And in the frame of this mission and vision, we are providing tsunami service provider in the NEAM region, and we are also acting as the National Tsunami Warning Center in Turkey. In the monitoring area, as you can see with the green square, and in this region, we are monitoring earthquakes and disseminated tsunami messages for the earthquakes bigger than 5.5 in this area. And we have 25 agencies, institutes from different countries, as you can see with yellowish colors. And we have also other subscribers, including AFAD, Muğla Metropolitan Municipality, Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, and the Tsunami Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. Kandilli Observatory monitors earthquakes since 1894 as one of the first institutes in the region. And yes, earthquakes are not the only source of tsunami, but almost 80% of the tsunamis occur by triggering from a source of earthquakes. So, in this region, we are monitoring earthquakes, and we have a very good capacity for locating earthquakes down to magnitude 0.5 in Marmara region, and is approximately magnitude 2 for the eastern Turkey. And up to magnitude 4, we can monitor earthquakes in Aegean Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. And we are still enhancing our seismic network. Besides that, we are monitoring sea level stations from different agencies. The main source of us is General Director of Mapping in this area, actually. I can appreciate, and we are monitoring 20 stations of them. And then we have 4 stations which is installed with the collaboration of Joint Research Center and Kandilli Observatory. And we have 4 other stations that we are operating. And we are planning to install new stations in Marmara Sea in the frame of the Istanbul risk mitigation system. We determined the places, locations for these sea level stations, and we probably will be beginning to the installations in late October. And we are aiming to disseminate tsunami early warning messages in 15 minutes, but most of the time this is very late, so we are testing several systems to diminish this time frame up to 5 minutes, and we are testing some other software systems such as Presto, LRMS Epic, and Virtual Seismologist, together with the softwares we are already using, such as SeisCom and Earliest. Since 2012, as the National Tsunami Warning Center and Tsunami Service Provider, we disseminated 45 tsunami early warning messages in our area, and 30 of them was information messages. 9 of them was advisory, and 6 of them were watch messages. And you can also see the recent Kahramanmaraş and Hatay earthquakes, which also caused a tsunami in that area. In order to keep our system, we are frequently performing tsunami exercises under the umbrella of IOC, ICG NIM TWS, with the other tsunami service provider altogether. And we performed 4 tsunami exercises in the region earlier, up to this year. Now, this year, we will be performing another tsunami exercise for the Crete region with a magnitude 8.1 earthquake. And we will be performing this exercise on the 7th of November. And we are all, still working on this exercise. I will just shortly present some of our activities in order to actually tell about tsunami, because the most challenging issue in these studies are to convince people that Turkey is a tsunami-prone region. So we have mainly working on this Causeway project this year, which is supported by DG ECO and coordinated by ICG NIM TWS. As a pilot region of Büyükçekmece in Istanbul, we are performing school activities mainly to make some information, disseminate some brochures, information, and some material, education materials to the schools. We performed the local tsunami exercise last year, which I present the video, and you can see the link. We just try to make awareness of these tsunami hazard, and we just want to show them Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality installed some signage to show the evacuation maps, roads on the streets, roads in several regions. We just want to show people there are some signs for you and be aware of this hazard. So we are working on this, and in order to improve these activities, with the recommendation of IOC, we also established the National Tsunami Ready Board in Turkey with the contribution and with the members of AFAD, which is the main civil protection authority in Turkey, and the Kandilli Observatory and Earthquake Research Institute as the National Tsunami Warning Center, and with the contributions of National Tsunami Contact people from Korea and Middle East Technical University, and also with the contribution of Office of Navigation, Hydrography and Oceanography, which is the IOC focal point. And I want to end my talk with one of these outreach materials we prepared for some of the schools we visited, just to show them about the tsunami evacuation roads, about the tsunami information that they have to take care about, and just to show the QR codes that they can reach to the evacuation maps in their area. And yes, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for timing. And so, Murat ERBAY from Trabzon, Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, Central Fisheries Research Institute, SUAME.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the ODTÜ for welcoming us. My name is Murat ERBAY, and I am working at the Central Fisheries Research Institute in the Ministry of the Agriculture and the Forestry. I want to say something about the sustainability of the marine living resources. First of all, what is the sustainability? Actually, sustainability does mean a balance, the environment, equity, and economic balance. And in terms of the managing marine resource sustainability, the protection and management of the living resources and the seas constitute of the subject of the international law. The term sustainability for marine living resources is found in the provisions of the 1958 the Geneva Convention on the fisheries and the conservation of living resources of the open seas. And then the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea and the many other international treaties, both universal and regional, contain various provisions on the subject. And sustainability provides the benefit for the fisheries and the ecosystems. These benefits can be categorized: the economic output, livelihood and generation, food security, and the ecosystem protection. And the marine management, like all environmental management, is based on a cause, sequence, and response framework in which human activities have sequence as effects on the both natural system and how society uses the natural systems, which require the management actions to alleviate, reduce, or eliminate those sequences. However, the concept of sustainable development is limited by the rate of the renewable and natural resources. Now look to our countries, seas of the Turkey and exclusive economic zone, approximately 400,000 kilometers square exclusive economic zone. Our country is associated with the 4 different seas, and among these, the Marmara is an inland sea, and the 70% of the Turkey's fisheries is carried out in the Black Sea, especially in Eastern. Our seas host different oceanographic features and the living resources. Therefore, different tools are used for the sustainable management for these seas. Okay, what is these tools? The firstly, practice and regulations for sustainability. For example, fishing minimum size for each fishable species and the time prohibitions according to fishing tools and the protected area where fishing is prohibited have been identified. And the second, the fisheries subsides for sustainability. With the tax-exempt fuel subsidy, the fuel costs of the fishermen are tried to be reduced. In this way, overfishing is tried to be prevented. And the efforts were made to reduce the size of the fishing fleet by purchasing boats from those who wanted quit the fishing profession. And no license are issued the new fishing vessels, thus limiting the fleet capacity. And third, the scientific studies for sustainability. The first of all, the stock assessment studies. The ministry and research institutions carried out the research and monitoring studies for the stock assessment, especially for demersal and pelagic fish space. Most important, the anchovy, sprat, horse mackerel, and the whiting, red mullet, most important to Turkey. These stock surveys vary according to species. For some species, stock surveys are carried out every month and the others before and after the fishing season. The monitoring studies on global warming and the oceanographic chains and their effects are carried out. This is an important point for us, the invasive species and effects still coming our country. And scientific studies for sustainability continue. Projects in order to support the weakened stocks, breeding and release of the species of the nature are also carried out in our country. Especially species such as turbot and sturgeon stocks are supported within these projects in the Black Sea for years by my institute, Sumaye. And the ghost removal project since 2014, the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, General Directorate of Fisheries and Aquaculture has been regularly cleaning the ghost fishing gear, and same directorate is implementing artificial reef projects to protect and enhance the aquatic biodiversity. And what is the future? Future of sustainability. The establishment of the protected areas. All over the world, the areas where no fishing activities are allowed are established and efforts are made to protect the ecosystems, reducing the predation of natural stocks by fish farming, and efforts are being made to meet the feed need from the alternative protein sources for increasing aquaculture activities. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Murat Erbay. And so, Sabri MUTLU from TUBITAK, Marmara Research Center.
Thank you, Professor. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. First of all, let me thank you all for coming here today. We also would like to thank METU and ONHO for providing us this opportunity. As you can see on the screen, our topic today is recent marine and polar science studies of TÜBİTAK Marmara Research Center. This presentation was prepared by myself, Sabri MUTLU, and Sinan Yirmibeşoğlu. This presentation is structured as follows. There are, let me say, mainly two teams working on marine sciences. First one is Polar Research Institute, dealing with the studies on the polars of the Earth. The other one is Marine Research and Technologies Group, under the Vice Presidency of Climate Change and Sustainability. This group, on the other hand, is working and studying on Turkish seas. Both teams are working under the same center, as you see on the picture, which is located in Gebze, Kocaeli. I hope this presentation will take less than 10 minutes. Let me move on. Polar Research Institute completed the 7th expedition to the South Pole. We call these expeditions TAE. TAE stands for Turkish Antarctica Expedition. More than 100 Turkish scientists have had the opportunity to visit the continent or study on samples collected during these expeditions. During these expeditions, we had more than 10 scientists coming from other nations, distinct nations, not from the same nation, and also we had opportunity to visit their bases and research vessels as well, at the same number, I guess. The Institute is also responsible for organizing a project called, a dedicated project called TÜBİTAK Kutup 1001. Turkey is a full member of the organization shown at the bottom of the screen. The Institute is following up the membership activities for our nation and for the sake of science. For example, Turkey has become a full member of SCAR in 2021 as a result of successful application and hard working of TÜBİTAK Marmara Research Center. Next is the Arctic as well. This page is similar to the previous one, as expected. This time we call TASE, which stands for Turkish Atlantic Arctic Scientific Expedition. 3 successful visits have been done with with the contribution more than 30 Turkish scientists. Again, we have guest scientists, and also altogether there had been published more than 200 scientific papers regarding to polars of the Earth. We are working with related organization shown at the bottom left of the screen. As clearly seen, TÜBİTAK Marmara Research Center, Polar Research Institute, is highly active on both polars by organizing the expeditions from cradle to grave. Therefore, I suggest you visit the website for the recent news and annual project calls if you are interested in polar sciences. In order to save time, I have to cut here and move on other team. Next one is Marine Research and Technologies Group. This working group has a long history, in fact, but I have to cut this timeline when the research vessel was on the sea for the first time, 2013. The activities of the group have been accelerated with the projects shown on the screen. As a result of number of cruise days has an increasing trend. Time is too short to mention all of the projects. I just want to thank to all supporters and partners during these projects. For example, Environment, Urbanization and Climate Change Ministry of, and also Agriculture and Forestry. Also, I would like to thank municipalities of Istanbul, Izmir, Kocaeli, and Bursa. Let me focus on some major activities of the group in numbers. Each year we are conducting 10 pollution monitoring projects, one of which is covering all Turkish seas, called DEN-EAST program. We reported all measurement data, information, and their interpretation to the decision makers, project supporters. We organize at least one meeting in a year for a better ocean. We bring experts and decision makers together. With project partners, we are sampling the sea more than 1,000 times, let me correct myself, at 500 stations approximately. As a leader or partner, it doesn't matter, we are involved in European Union or TUBITAK projects. This group is also responsible for 2 international membership, which are European Marine Board and SCORE. Even though we are not an education, we don't have educational duty like universities, we are supporting future scientists. Each year we have summer trainees, interns, or other kind of scholarships. I am not giving you too much detail about these projects on the screen. Just want to show you that we are dealing with not only domestic problems, projects, but also international ones. We would like to increase the percent of international projects in the following years. This picture was selected to give an idea of how we contribute to the ocean science via meetings. This was taken from the last meeting of the Deniz program between 2020 and 2022. This meeting was also broadcasted on YouTube to reach more people. The red points on the map are the GPS records of the ROV TUBITAK Marmara research vessel. As clearly seen that our vessel visited many places on the sea. But we are not limited ourselves just to this research vessel. As you see on the bottom, we are getting benefits from other vessels as well, building up partnership. For example, RV Blim is responsible for the Eastern Mediterranean stations. As a research center, we generally focus on project requirements, unfortunately, but it is worth to write or ask to be involved in any scientific activity we do. Here are some major ones. We have built up many collaborations during the recent years. As some of them seen on the screen, there are ministries, universities, NGOs, municipalities, private sectors, and so on. We would like to thank all of them for their great teamwork. This is the last picture in the presentation. In fact, it's the last page as well. In fact, it's a combination of many pictures taken from the field, as you see. Hope it lasted not longer than 10 minutes. We are always at your disposal for safer, more productive, and more accessible ocean. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, MUTLU. And we are listening. Ankara Üniversitesi Natural Research Center of Sea and Maritime Law, TEZCAN, Asistant Professor Doktor Ceren DINDAR.
Thank you, Professor Gazioğlu, for giving me the floor. Also, I would like to thank the Office of Navigation, Geography, or Oceanography, sorry for that, and also the Middle East Technical University for organizing this conference. Actually, it is meaningful to bring all the scholars and the people around the world to speak on such an important issue. As a topic today, as you've seen on the screen, I choose the a general overview on the regulatory steps taken to reduce the carbon emission from the ships and its impacts on ocean and suggestion. I know that I don't have too much time, so the things that I will explain to you will be the two general, so I will not go into the detail. Let's start with the first slide. So we all know that in September 2015, then the UN and 193 member states is actually adopted the 2013 agenda for the sustainable development, and they actually introduced the 17 development goals, and one of them is actually directly related with the UN Ocean Decade Implementation Plan. If you found a chance to check it, it is the number 14. It's actually saying that conserve and sustainability use the oceans, seas, and marine sources for sustainable development. So as a specialized agency of the United Nations, is actually International Maritime Organization is responsible for the measures to improve the safety and also the security on international shipping and to prevent pollutions from the ships. And when we think about what IMO is doing, is actually the number 14 is directly related to the works they are doing. And one of the important environmental convention in this regard, as you see that the longer name is International Convention for the Prevention of Pollutions from the Ship, is the MARPOL, is actually aimed to keep the ocean safe and clean. So as I see here, it includes the 6 annex, and if you see here that the Annex 1 is about the prevention of pollution by oil, the Annex 2 is control of the pollution by noxious liquid substances, Annex 5, for example, about the prevention of pollution by garbage from ships, and Annex 6 is actually regulations for the prevention of air pollution from the ship. So as you can understand from the name of all these annex, actually what this legal framework is doing actually to serve the purpose of the UN Ocean Decade. So it is one of the important legal framework in this regard. And today I will focus on the Annex 6, and it is the one that is focusing on the regulations for the prevention of air pollution from the ships, and Turkey is actually the party to this annex. Why I am focusing this, because this is actually entering into force in 2015, but in the last 2 years there are many amendments are held under this annex. So these annex, these regulations, these amendments are actually related to decarbonization. Why the decarbonization is related with the UN Ocean Decade, you can ask. Because if you check the UN Ocean Decade implementation plan, you will see that, okay, the focus is in number 14, but there's also reference to the other goals. And one of them is actually, I think one of the important one is the number 13, and it's saying that to take an urgent action by action to combat the climate change. And also in the implementation plan, it says that one of the Ocean Decade challenge is to build a resilience to the effects of climate change across all the geographics and at all scales. So following these goals and also these challenges, actually in the last year, International Maritime Organization has started to introduce some regulations. So why are they doing this? Because they want to combat with climate change, they want to reduce the global warming. So if greenhouse gas emissions from the ship can be cut, then the global warming will be reduced. And if the global warming can be prevented, then the negative effects of these will not vanish. Will not exist anymore. So what kind of effects these are? Let's look at it together very shortly. So global warming is actually causing the ocean head, and as a result, it causes ice melting. And when the ice are melting, it's actually increasing the sea level, and this is causing a lot of disaster actually. And at the same time, global warming is causing ocean acidification, and this is actually one of the threat for the marine lives. And at the same time, if the people consume those marine products, then it might be also the dangers for those. And lastly, the global warming is causing the temperatures are rising on the ocean, and this is also causing the loss of marine lives. So there are the pictures that I got here. Sorry that I didn't put a reference here, but these are from the United Nations Climate Action page. So they are saying that every degree matters. So as you see here, if the rise of the sea is 1.5 degree increase, then this is causing that 72% of coral reef vanish. But if the sea rising like the 2 degrees increase in the sea temperature is causing that all the coral reefs is vanished. So that's why they are saying that every degree is matters. So why I explain all these things? To show you that because if you want a global warming stop, then we should, one of the steps that we need to take is actually decarbonization. So we should cut the greenhouse gas emissions from the ship. This is the only way to get actually for healthy and resilience and safe ocean. That's why IMO is taking a couple of steps in the last years. They are starting from the 2020. These are IMO sulfur cap. The second one is energy efficiency existing shipping index, and third one is actually the carbon intensity index regulation. I don't have too much time, so I will not go into the detail. So I will just describe what are those. So IMO sulfur cap is actually the limit, saying the ship owners, okay, you have ship, you are using fuel oil on your ship, then your ship quality, the sulfur which your bunkers contain should have some level. And this level is decided as a 0.50 actually now, and actually before, until the 2020, that was 3.50% sulfur is allowed. So as you see that there's a huge reduction. So someone noticed that decarbonization is the way, so they start to take some step. And in restricted areas, there are also the special areas. If you are going that area with your ship, then this time the quality of your bunker in terms of the sulfur, the limit is this time 0.10. So this regulation is now exists under the MARPOL Annex 6 actually, so it is legally binding. The problem is that IMO is setting this limit, but it doesn't say anything what the penalty will be. So it is actually up to the states what they will do. So Turkey, as a party to the convention, actually took some fines following the limitation and has recently introduced a new category of penalties. So what we are doing, if the ship is not using the required level of sulfur of bunkers, then we are actually punishing the ship owner by way of considering this tariff here. And apart from that, another things that happened in Turkey in 2022, there was an amendments to designate the entire Mediterranean Sea as a emission control area. This hasn't get into force yet, but it will get into force in 1st of May 2025. That means that after 1st of May 2025, we need to be more careful in the Mediterranean region because, as I said in the previous slide, there will be the stricter sulfur level will be required for the vessel that proceed in there. So what we need to do, actually, we have the control areas now. We also have the tariff that we are applying to those ships that not have the required level. But at the same time, maybe the port and coastal state can use the port control state more effective. Actually, we are using it, but after the 1st of May 2025, it might be needed more. And also use of surveillance might be an issue. For example, air surveillance system might be used, and then to assess the smoke plumps actually. So this is one of the regulation for one of the step for decarbonization. The other two is energy efficiency existing shipping index. So this is all existing ship under this index required to meet a certain level of energy efficiency. In other saying, we are expecting from the ship not to exceed particular level of carbon dioxide emission. And in order to do that, ship owner needs to change the design of their ship, or maybe they need to make some modification. In that way, they might bring their ship in a level required. The other things is carbon intensity index regulation. So again, we are expecting from the ship not to exceed the particular level of carbon dioxide emission, but while the ship are used. So this is something related to operational way of the ship. By way of using your ship slow or increasing the distance sail, you can get the required CIA level actually. So there's a formula here for those of you who are interested in math. So this is how the CIA level is actually calculated. depending on the results, there's actually the ships are rated from A to E. So if your ship is getting an A rate, that means that you are lucky because you have the most environmental friendly ship in the world. And if you getting an E rate, then that means that you are polluting the oceans and also the air. So IMO is saying that the ships should be A, B, and C level are acceptable. If you are D and E, then the further things needs to be done. I will not go into the detail those. So here, these two regulations relate to this one, energy existing index regulation, and also the other one, CIA level. Okay, where are we? We're here. About the CIA. Okay. About the carbon intensity index regulation, actually these are come into force just 9 months ago, so 1st of January 2023. And if you check the Annex 6, actually it doesn't require any penalties. It doesn't say if the ship is E level, the ship owner will do this. There is no such a stipulation there. So that means that here we need to do something for the future. So the government should involve in the decarbonization process. For example, I explain you how the tariffs are given related to IMO sulfur cap. The same can be done for CIA level and energy existing index requirements. And secondly, that the administrative port authorities and other stakeholders maybe encourage the ship owner to get an environmental friendly ship. We heard this morning in the early morning session. So it was stated that for the ships that dealing with the blue economy, that make a contribution to the blue economy, there is a tax reductions. So the same approach might be followed here, and then for the ship owners who have the ships the level of A or B and C, maybe we can encourage them the tax reduction. Probably these things might be in the agenda of the ministries. Then the last thing, this is not my finding actually, there's a research held on the decarbonization in the Turkish maritime industry, and it is suggested at the end of the research, maritime education curriculum has to be updated by considering the decarbonization action. Actually, it's a good advice, I believe. So these are all the things that I want to say about the decarbonization. But the last thing, we all know that if you find the chance to see the UN implementation plan, actually they are encouraged everybody to take some steps, and that's why that they are saying that there are the decade actions like the programs, projects, and activities and contributions. Actually, as a DEHUCAM, as an Ankara University National Center for Sea and Maritime Law, we also become a part of such an ocean decade activity last week. So some of the faces are here in there too. So this is the name of the conference is the 46th Conference on Ocean Law and Policy, Safe, Secure, and Sustainable Shipping. Actually, there was a 200 participants and 40 speakers come together, and all these speakers, most of them are from the other institution, and everybody actually put their works on how we got the safe, secure, and sustainable shipping. And there are just 4 panels that is directly dedicated to environmental shipping and also the sustainable shipping, because in order to create an awareness on the subject. And this program is actually accredited as a UN Ocean Decade activity because of the fact that it contributes to Decade 2, Healthy and Resilient Ocean, Decade 5, Safe Ocean, and also the Decade 7, Inspiring and Engaging Ocean. So for the future, I want to say that as a DEHUCAM, we will do our best to contribute to the UN Ocean Decade. Thank you for listening.
Thanks. And last one, Devrim TEZCAN from METU Institute of Marine Sciences, Erdemli.
Welcome all. Today I'm going to give you some brief information how about the DECOSIM's effort for the observing RC. Okay, so DECOSIM is a research infrastructure established in 2012 that is supported by the Presidency of Strategy and Budget.
Actually, formerly it was the Ministry of Development, but now it's the Strategy and Budget. Okay. DECOSYM means that the Marine Ecosystem and the Climate Research Center. The main goal of this DECOSYM is to enhance the infrastructure to support the marine research in Turkey. It comprises a dedicated marine science laboratory, state-of-art oceanographic equipment, and also ongoing research. So with numerous several international and national projects that DECOSYM supports, we are monitoring the climate change in the coastal and offshore area. We are testing and applying new methods, techniques, instruments. We are providing operational data. We are monitoring ecosystem dynamics and providing long-term data sets. Also, we are organizing regular cruises and conducting training activities. Also, with these national and international collaborators, we are trying to provide a holistic research platform. So DECOSYM actually has 5 modules. These are the measurements and analysis module, continuous monitoring module, climate and ocean prediction module, decision support module, and atmosphere basin marine interaction module. Today I'm going to talk about what we are doing in the first module here. So we all know that the time series are crucial to understand the change in seas and climate. To achieve this purpose, actually, we established a time series initiative in the northeastern Mediterranean Sea. Actually, the initiative began in 1907 with 3 stations, but with DECOSYM, we expanded the number of the stations and we diversified the monitored parameters here. So we have a continuous time series here, almost more than 20 years. Another time series is the Silesian time series. Actually, the time series, the stations we started monitoring these stations through the TUBITAK project, but after the project's end, we continued the effort of this monitoring between the Turkey and Cyprus with the DECOSYM project. And this data enable us to develop new insights to understand into the formation of the Levantine intermediate water in the Silesian basin. DECOSYM also support an open sea program, and we are trying to, really it's hard because we are trying to perform this cruise annually since 2017 to better understand the oceanography of the Mediterranean. DECOSYM infrastructure, apart from this time series, support a lot of projects in the Sea of Marmara, such as the Marmot and Mardes project, in the Black Sea, Bridge project, Doors project, Deep Trace project, and in Mediterranean, Deniz project, the national monitoring project here. DECOSYM also contribute to the international programs, such as the Argo program. Argo floats are the autonomous profilers, so within this DECOSYM project, we deployed 6 floats in the Black Sea and Mediterranean. Here in this map, you can see the stars are the deployment points, and the dots, the colored dots, show the trajectories and the profile location that we got from these Argo floats. Also, with this DECOSYM project, as a part of this DECOSYM project, we acquired and deployed a mooring system in the northeastern Mediterranean again in 2016. Of course, we encounter a lot of challenge here, and this challenge actually drove us to develop to our systems. So, using this DECOSYM capacity, we develop a cost-effective, expandable system, mooring system, and we deployed in the Marmara Sea, we deployed 4 of them in the Marmara Sea for a TUBITAK project. Of course, we have more challenge here as well, but now an updated version of this buoys will be deployed in the collaboration with the Istanbul University Marine Sciences Institute in Marmara Sea soon. And the ecosystems also provide high-resolution data systems, the autonomous data system. This CERIT fish actually is a towed undulating vehicle system. It carries several oceanographic sensors such as temperature, salinity, oxygen, chlorophyll, and turbidity. And 2021, during this mucilage events, the scan fish actually enable us, the high-resolution data of scan fish enable us to map the mucilage in the sea columns. And in the sea columns, you can see the maps here and the turbidity data in the sea columns. And also, the ecosystems also increase the awareness of the marine science in the society. So the major companies actually show their express their interest to support the marine research. And one of them, the İş Bankası, is currently donate us a glider, an autonomous vehicles systems. And now we test the gliders in the Marmara Sea. You can see here in the left side. And we deployed in the Mediterranean for more than 20 days. And we got very nice results. Still, we are processing this data. And that's all. Thank you for all.
Thank you for timing. I think we have time to comment and questions. It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, dear moderator and the speakers. Now we have a small break. Coffee break outside in the area you were before, and we reconvene in 15 minutes.